Hi, I'm Todd Wente, and this is the Daily 180. 180 seconds of motivation and inspiration intended to help you take action and make progress in your life. This is episode 304 of the Daily 180, and today we're going to be talking about another F word that leads us toward progress, and that F word is flow. I don't know how many of you have ever felt yourself in a state of flow. And I'm not talking about the Progressive Insurance flow. I'm not talking about the Flo, the character from Alice, a sitcom from the 70s and 80s. If you're old enough to remember that sitcom, hey, me too. I'm not talking about those characters. I'm talking about the idea of a state of flow where you feel like things happen almost effortlessly. For me, when I think about being in a state of flow, believe it or not, here we go with another character. I find myself thinking about Finding Nemo, and the scene in Nemo where Nemo and Dory find themselves in that in the transatlantic current with the sea turtles, where they're flowing along, or I guess it's not Nemo, it's Nemo's dad, right? Marlin. Where they find themselves in that transatlantic current, flowing along with Crush and with the rest of the giant sea turtles, and they can move because that current is carrying them along in the flow. A feeling of flow, being in a state of flow, allows us to feel like our efforts have tremendous results. And we don't feel like we're fighting everything around us, but rather that everything around us is working towards our goals. Now, as wonderful as this sounds and as awesome as this sounds, I have to tell you, I don't have any suggestions about how to make that happen, except for one. And that one suggestion is make daily efforts on a regular basis. Have them be consistent. Because the more daily efforts and the more consistency that you're putting into the daily efforts, the more it is that feeling of flow starts to really fall into place. At least that's been the way it's been for me. When I find myself putting in little efforts day by day toward achieving certain kinds of goals or certain kinds of outcomes, then there comes a point where not only is putting in the effort feeling, well, effortless, but then the results start to really compound on themselves, and this feeling of flow occurs. Now, the interesting thing is that for me at least, getting flow in one area of my life, that feeling where all of my results are happening without even really trying that hard, takes a lot of time, or at least it can. And sometimes when I get it in one area of life, it doesn't necessarily translate into other areas of life. So with all of this talk about flow, what's my takeaway? What would I encourage you to think about for today? Two things. First, daily efforts over and over, be consistent. But second, be grateful for the places and times in your life when flow occurs, and see if maybe that doesn't help you recognize when flow is starting to build in other areas and gives you enough encouragement to really be able to keep that flow going into other areas of your life as well. Hope this has been useful, or at least giving you something to think about. If it has, give us a thumbs up, give us a share, give us some comments. We'd love to see those down on the bottom as well. We'd love to have you subscribe and join us for the rest of the journey. Meantime, go forth and conquer. My name is Todd Wente. This has been the Daily 180. Go forth and conquer.